The river is the Souris River, which originates in Canada, in Saskatchewan, then dips down into the U.S. where it turns into the Mouse River and comes through the north-central part of North Dakota and then re-enters Canada into Manitoba on its way to Hudson Bay ultimately. They're estimating that the damages are in the over $1 billion just in the Minot area. We had water that's 4 feet higher than it's ever been in the history. Going back to 1881 was the previous high.
This is the 1969 flood level. That's the floor, so that's about 2 feet, and this is about 7 feet. So that's right where the flood water stopped.
Since man started measuring the river, this is the highest it's been by almost 4 feet. So the magnitude of the flood is almost unbelievable, and the amount of damage is hard for people to fathom, really.
It was just, you know, utter amazement that I was seeing, this big a part of North Dakota history unfold in front of me. You couldn't comprehend it. You were in shock.
We got news that the water that was coming from Canada was going to be more than our dike system could handle on Father's Day. So everybody had approximately 48 hours to move whatever they could out of their homes.
I was able to store my personal belongings up on my second story, which stayed dry. Everything in the basement, the main floor, where I couldn't get up, we lost a lot. Now it's the tearing apart. And what do? Do you rebuild? Do you put the money back into it, or do you just walk away?
There's that real kind of stench of decaying matter, and look at this. I mean, this is someone's home. This is what's left of someone's home.
This is the neighborhood I grew up in 1969. Right after the 69 flood, we moved 3 houses down the alley. And my best friend lived here. And when we found out she was selling this house, which I've been in since 69 in this neighborhood, we bought it. And then it looks like this now.
My first thought was, well, I have 4 walls, I have a roof over my head, I can fix it.
I think that it's hard for this story to be told really outside of this little area here, because it's a flood. You know, people around the country say, okay, well, the water came up, the water went down, and now you'll move on. But, you know, we're facing just astronomical costs here that people are going to have to bear on their own because there's no insurance. About 90% of the people did not have any insurance for this because we were told that we were in a zone that was protected against flooding. The Red Cross opened up a disaster shelter right away so that people who didn't have any option could come there. And we had about an estimated 12,000 people who had to leave their homes because of this flood, and 300 showed up at the shelter. And the members of our national media were just amazed when they were here for a couple of days, amazed that only 300 would have shown up there with such a large number of people displaced. And whereas nationally people would say, wow, only 300 people had to stay at the shelter, people in the Minot area say, wow, 300 people had to stay in the shelter? Maybe I have a room in my house so that we can put up somebody here so they don't have to stay in the shelter. You know, so it's just how you look at it, I guess. You say that you've found, you know, the kind of the spirit of the people in the United States has been something that's remarkable, and it really comes to the forefront in a situation like this because the kind of the spirit of community was really amazing.
It's kind of funny in a crisis like that, you learn your neighbor even that much more. It brings your community a lot closer together. We're all family now. We're a flood family.